In Dead Rails, there are 12 classes with their own skills. While some are just broken, others are super bad and expensive. Today we'll be ranking all 12 classes from being the worst to the most overpowered. The absolute worst class is the Zombie. It costs 75 bonds, and the whole thing about it is that it can eat dead bodies for health, but sacrifices being able to use normal healing items. It also can sneak around zombies a little easier than other classes. Next up at number 11, we have the Miner class. You spawn with 2 coal, which allows you to safely drive to the next town in one burst and still have enough to buy a gun. But once you've used the 2 coal, it's almost completely useless from there on out. The pickaxe does the same damage as the shovel, but it does have this headlamp which lets you fight at night with slightly less risk. But unless you voluntarily raid a town or a house at night, the headlamp doesn't really do much. No one's ever going to choose to raid something at night since that's just really stupid to do, making the headlamp useless. At number 10, we have the Priest. It costs 75 bonds and spawns with 2 crucifixes and 2 holy waters. Before the latest update, you could sell holy water for some money, but I believe it's patched now. Still, it's not terrible, since these items are pretty hard to obtain early on. You're also completely immune to lightning. As you can see, I stood here for an entire night overall. This class is mid, at best, due to its price. After you use up your crucifixes and holy waters, it's kind of useless since you can avoid thunder by simply sitting in your train. Now, at number 9, we have the Alamo. You spawn with 3 metal sheets and 3 barbed wire as well as a helmet on your head. At the start, it's not horrible. If you build what I'm building here, where you block off the side windows and make a tiny gap at the cabin, you can survive pretty much any night, which is honestly pretty useful at times. However, if you take the newspapers and put them on the train, like I did here, it serves pretty much the same purpose. At number 8, we now have the Arsonist. You spawn with 4 Molotovs and 4 Molotovs only. If you somehow get a horse before the first town, it's guaranteed that you can wipe it out easily. Overall, there's not really much to say about this class. It's pretty solid as your first class. At number 7, we have the Ironclad. For this class, you spawn with a full set of armor, but you walk 20% slower than Norma. Well, you can no longer sell the armor, but the armor still can do a lot. Horses can make this class so much better, it completely negates the speed nerf and keeps you almost invulnerable as always. Next up at number 6, we have the Doctor. This is really cheap class. You spawn with 2 snake oil and 2 bandages, which you can sell. You also have the ability to revive a teammate without a bandage at the cost of half your health. That's mostly what makes this class even usable. This class mostly should be used as a support. Generally speaking, passive healing is super useful. I would definitely recommend buying this class. Next up at number 5, we have the High Roller. It costs 50 bonds, and its entire ability is to be able to sell stuff at a slightly higher price than normal players. Not much to say about this one. It's honestly a pretty solid class. Now, at number 4, we have the Conductor. And just like the Doctor, this is also mostly a support class. You spawn with 2 coal, just like the Miner does. And you can also drive the train faster and more efficiently than normal players. It would only take 16 coals for you to drive to the end. However, it has a very major weakness. This class only has 50% of the health of the average player. If you're going to play this class, go with a Doctor, since you'll be very prone to damage and will probably have to leave the fighting to your teammates. This could be a very solid class if you have smart teammates, but on its own, it's super fragile. If you have some friends who know how to play the game, I definitely recommend using this class. Next up at number 3, we got the Cowboy. You spawn automatically with a horse as well as a revolver with 2 ammo boxes. Using your gold, you can get an additional 2 ammo boxes and still have plenty for coal. This class was basically built to take on the town. I definitely recommend buying this, if you have enough bonds. At number 2, we got the Survivalist. You spawn with this tomahawk only. I'd recommend selling it and buying some extra ammo with the money. Its ability is to be able to deal extra damage when you lose health. This is actually way more broken than it sounds. If you land all headshot, you can kill a werewolf in only 3 shots with a revolver and 1 shot to all zombies. I definitely recommend buying this if you're pretty good at the game. Now, at number 1, we have the Vampire class. After the buff, it can now run faster than a horse, but you take damage when you're under the sun. Try to prioritize hospitals, since items such as snake oil and bandages are important for this class. This is extremely skill-based. If you just charge into battle, you'll get cooked pretty badly. Overall, this is one of the best classes in the game right now since it's faster than even a horse. This is going to be all for this video. Bye-bye.